Sister Wives Sick Way Kody Brown Gauges Love for His Kids. Unmistakably, Sister Wives has captured many details about the Brown family. While longtime watchers have connected with many of the family members, the show also has unearthed some of the major character flaws. For instance, it has revealed the sick way that Kody Brown gauges his love for each of his 18 children. Kody Brown struggles to connect with many of his kids. During Sister Wives Season 19, TLC has shown there are many cracks in Kody Brown's relationships. While it is natural for him to be struggling with the aftermath of his ex-wives leaving, they have also highlighted how difficult it has been for him to connect with a large number of his kids. Namely, Maddie Brown Brush and Gabrielle Brown have been extremely vocal about their falling out. Sadly, Kody is estranged from many of his 18 kids. Admittedly, his relationship with Garrison Brown was still rocky when he passed. But fans have seen the equation Kody seems to use to gauge his love for his kids. Sick way Kody Brown gauges love for his kids. On Reddit, Sister Wives fans discussed the sick way that Kody Brown gauges love for his kids. First, a user says, Kody loves his children based on, then they reveal, how much he loves their mothers. Sad but true. Compare his interaction with Aurora having a panic attack to Isabel, telling him she wants the spinal surgery because she's in pain. Completely different. One fan adds, Kody's love comes with strings attached. Once you disagree with Kody and grow to be more worldly than him, he has no use for you. There are a lot of scumbag dads that do the same thing. They only see the kids they had with whoever they are with at the moment. It's not love. It's who's the golden mother of the day. Someone jokes, if I don't love you, blame your mother. Kody Brown avoids. Sister Wives fans think Kody Brown's response is avoidance of the pain that sometimes comes with caring. When Janelle chose the kids, Kody thought she was unloyal. After spinning the story to show how hurt he was by Mary, Janelle, and Cristin Brown, it was hard to relate with the kids. Likewise, he placed blame on them for spreading lies about him. Another fan adds, I completely agree. His affection for his kids has always been based on how much he loved their mothers. That's why he always favored Leon and Janelle's kids. When the COVID drama went down, Gwen noted how Gabe and Garrison weren't used to being treated this way by Kody. Unlike her and her siblings, they were prioritized by Kody before they spoke against him and before their mother supported them over Kody. Another fan sees his pain. I definitely agree that the boys play a huge role in the favoritism of the household. It's just that he favored Maddie too and doted on Savannah. His refusal to talk about Maddie cutting him off shows his pain over it. But he'll never admit that it's his own fault. More fans weigh in. While divorce is hard on everyone, Kody Brown seems to let his disdain for wives spill over to their corresponding children. I think that Kody is out of his depth with any truly dire situation, such as Truly's renal failure or Isabel's chronic pain requiring surgery and a long recovery. That's the partner's job, meaning the women folk, to handle. It's a character flaw. I don't think that love factors in, not really. He's just there for the fun and attention because he is chronically shallow and immature. As far as Aurora's panic attack, I don't think that was necessarily a display of love, as much as it was for him to draw attention to himself by being able to cosplay as a hero. But another viewer makes a blanket statement. They say, unpopular opinion. He doesn't love any of his children, not even the tenders. Kody Brown sat alone in the cavernous living room of his Flagstaff home, the flickering light from the fireplace casting elongated shadows on the walls. The house felt eerily quiet, his 4 wives scattered across their separate homes and his once boisterous children grown and often distant. Kody's thoughts swirled, a cacophony of voices from his past and present. He was a father to 18 children, but lately he'd been grappling with a harsh reality. Not all relationships were created equal, even among his own blood. For years, Kody had prided himself on his ability to maintain order and love within his sprawling family. His faith and the principles of plural marriage had always guided him. But now, cracks had formed in the foundation. The pandemic had been a defining moment, a magnifying glass held over his family's dynamic. It revealed the chasms, the subtle and not so subtle favoritism that even he had difficulty denying. And in his quiet moments, he had devised a system, a sick, twisted metric, to gauge his children's love for him. Kody called it the priority scale. The scale wasn't written down, but it lived in his mind, a mental tally of who called him, who obeyed him, and who sought his approval. He justified it to himself as a way to maintain balance, to ensure he didn't pour his energy into relationships that yielded nothing in return. But deep down, he knew it was more than that. It was a manifestation of his insecurity, his need to feel in control and loved in a family that often felt too big to manage. At the top of the scale were Robin's children. He'd never admit it aloud, but they were his gold standard. Robin, his youngest and most devoted wife, had always ensured her kids were aligned with him. Aurora, Brianna, and Dayton were respectful, compliant, and eager to involve him in their lives. They're just more present, he'd argue when anyone hinted at favoritism. But the truth was, their loyalty, or perhaps their dependency, soothed his ego. He didn't have to fight for their affection, it was a given. Then came the children from his other wives, divided into tiers based on their behavior and proximity. Cristin's kids, once vibrant and fiercely independent, had slipped down the scale since Cristin left the marriage. Sable's decision to have spinal surgery without him present had been a bitter pill to swallow. She didn't need me, he'd muttered to himself, the sting of rejection sharp. Truly, the youngest remained an enigma to him. Cristin's influence was undeniable, and her departure had created an emotional rift Kody wasn't sure how to bridge. Janelle's kids were practical and grounded, but they too had begun to question his authority. Gabe and Garrison, in particular, had pushed back during the pandemic, challenging his rules and prioritizing their own lives over his. He'd taken their defiance personally, marking them down on the priority scale as a result. Savannah, quiet and compliant, lingered somewhere in the middle, her lack of drama making her easier to overlook. Mary's daughter, Mariah, had been at the bottom of the scale for years. Mariah's bold personality and unwavering support for her mother had created a distance between her and Kody that neither seemed interested in mending. Kody's system was flawed, of course. It ignored the complexities of human relationships and the individuality of his children. But to him, it was a way to cope, a way to make sense of the overwhelming responsibility he felt. He convinced himself that it wasn't about love. He loved all his children equally, he'd argue, but about prioritizing his energy. You can't pour from an empty cup, he'd tell himself, repeating the mantra as though it absolved him of any wrongdoing.